Have you ever wondered why some people in their 70s and 80s can still garden for hours, play with their grandchildren, or take those long walks on the beach, while others struggle with fractures and bone pain? What if I told you that the strength of your skeleton isn't just about the calcium supplements you're taking, but about the everyday foods on your plate? Hello everyone, I'm James, and welcome to another episode of Golden Age Secrets. Today, we're exploring something that affects every single one of us as we age, our bone health. By the end of our time together, I'll reveal the 15 best foods that can help strengthen your bones after 60, including one surprising item at number 12 that most people have in their kitchen but rarely associate with bone health. You know, when I hit my 60th birthday, my doctor gave me a wake-up call. He said, "James, your bone density scan is showing some early signs of concern." That was a shock to me. I'd always been active, thought I was eating well, and certainly didn't feel fragile. But the truth is, most of us lose about 1% of our bone mass every year after 50. For women, that loss can accelerate to 2 to 3% annually in the years following menopause. Here's what most people don't realize. By the time we reach our 60s, this silent process has often been happening for a decade or more. The good news? It's never too late to start rebuilding and protecting your bone strength, and what you eat plays a crucial role. Before we dive into our list of bone-boosting foods, let's understand why bone health becomes so critical as we age. Our bones are living tissue, constantly breaking down and rebuilding throughout our lives. When we're younger, the building process outpaces the breakdown. But after 40, that balance shifts, and breakdown begins to overtake rebuilding. The consequences can be serious. Osteoporosis, which literally means porous bones, affects about 54 million Americans. It leads to 2 million broken bones annually, and those fractures can dramatically change someone's quality of life. A broken hip, for instance, can lead to loss of independence, and sadly, about 20% of seniors who fracture a hip don't survive the first year after their injury. But enough with the sobering statistics. Let's focus on the positive steps we can take through our diet. While calcium gets most of the attention when it comes to bone health, the truth is that strong bones need a complex matrix of nutrients working together. Calcium, yes, but also vitamin D, vitamin K, magnesium, potassium, and several others. The foods I'm about to share with you deliver these nutrients in forms your body can actually use effectively. So let's get started with our countdown of the 15 best foods for stronger bones after 60. Number 15, prunes. Yes, those wrinkly dried plums might bring to mind digestive regularity, but research has shown they're also remarkable bone builders. A study from Penn State University found that eating just 5 to 6 prunes daily significantly improved bone mineral density in postmenopausal women. What makes prunes so special for our bones? They're rich in boron, a trace mineral that helps calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus do their bone-building work. They also contain vitamin K, which activates proteins involved in bone formation. Plus, prunes have powerful antioxidants that reduce the inflammation that can contribute to bone loss. I like to chop them up and add them to my morning oatmeal, or blend a few into smoothies. They add a natural sweetness without needing to add sugar, and yes, they do help with regularity too. That's what I call a win-win food. Number 14, sardines. These tiny fish pack a giant nutritional punch when it comes to bone health. When you eat sardines with their soft, edible bones, you're getting one of the most concentrated sources of calcium in the food supply, about 350 milligrams in just 3 ounces. That's a third of what most of us need daily. But the benefits don't stop there. Sardines are also loaded with vitamin D, which is essential for calcium absorption. Without enough vitamin D, your body might only absorb 10 to 15% of the calcium from your diet. Sardines also provide omega-3 fatty acids, which help reduce the inflammation that can lead to bone loss. Now, I know not everyone is a fan of these little fish. If you're new to sardines, try the ones packed in olive oil with lemon. Mash them on whole grain toast with a little avocado, Or toss them into a Caesar salad instead of anchovies. You'll barely notice them, but your bones certainly will. Number 13, yogurt. A cup of yogurt delivers about 30% of your daily calcium needs, making it an obvious bone health superstar. But yogurt has another bone-building secret. It's teeming with probiotics, those beneficial bacteria that support gut health. Why does gut health matter for your bones? Research is increasingly showing that a healthy microbiome helps your body absorb more minerals from your food and reduces inflammation that can harm bone density. Some studies even suggest that certain probiotic strains directly stimulate bone formation and reduce bone breakdown. Choose plain, unsweetened yogurt to avoid the added sugars that can actually harm bone health. Greek and Icelandic styles offer extra protein, which is also important for strong bones. I enjoy mine with fresh berries and a sprinkle of ground flaxseed for breakfast or as a tangy base for salad dressings and dips. Number 12, tomatoes. This is the surprising one I promised. Most people don't associate tomatoes with bone health, but these juicy red fruits are actually bone-building powerhouses. Tomatoes are one of the richest sources of lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that research shows can reduce bone loss and lower the risk of fractures. A study published in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research found that women with higher levels of lycopene in their blood had significantly less bone loss over a 4-year period compared to those with lower levels. The effect was particularly strong in the spine, which is a common fracture site. What's especially interesting about lycopene in tomatoes is that it becomes more bioavailable when cooked. So while fresh tomatoes are healthy, tomato sauce, paste, and even ketchup can provide more usable lycopene. Adding a little olive oil helps too, since lycopene is fat-soluble. I try to include tomatoes in at least one meal daily, sliced fresh in sandwiches, cooked into pasta sauces, or slowly roasted with herbs for an intense flavor boost. Your bones will thank you for making tomatoes a regular part of your diet. Number 11, spinach. Popeye was onto something. Spinach delivers a bone-building trifecta of calcium, magnesium, and vitamin K. Just 1 cup of cooked spinach provides about 25% of your daily calcium needs, 40% of your magnesium requirements, and over 1,000% of the recommended vitamin K intake. Some people worry about the oxalates in spinach, compounds that can bind to calcium and limit absorption. While this is true, spinach provides so many other bone-healthy nutrients that it still earns its place on our list. Cooking spinach reduces oxalates significantly, as does pairing it with a small amount of calcium-rich food like a sprinkle of cheese. I add a handful of spinach to my morning smoothies. You can barely taste it. It's also wonderful, sautéed with garlic as a side dish, layered in lasagna, or wilted into soups just before serving. With its mild flavor, spinach is one of the easiest greens to incorporate into your daily meals. Number 10, salmon. This fatty fish is a bone health superstar for several reasons. First, it's one of the few natural food sources of vitamin D, which is crucial for calcium absorption. A 3.5-ounce serving of salmon provides about 75% of your daily vitamin D needs. Salmon is also rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which help reduce inflammation in the body. Chronic inflammation can accelerate bone loss, so foods that fight inflammation are key allies in maintaining bone strength. The protein in salmon also provides the building blocks your body needs to create new bone tissue. I aim to eat salmon at least twice a week. Baking it with a simple lemon herb crust makes for an easy weeknight dinner. Leftover salmon is delicious flaked over a salad the next day or mixed with a little Greek yogurt for a protein-rich sandwich filling. If you're not a fan of fish, salmon oil supplements can provide some of the same benefits. Number 9, sweet potatoes. These vibrant orange tubers are loaded with bone-healthy nutrients. They're one of the richest sources of potassium, a mineral that helps neutralize acids in the body that can leach calcium from your bones. One medium sweet potato provides about 15% of your daily potassium needs. Sweet potatoes are also rich in magnesium, which helps activate vitamin D and is directly involved in bone formation. Their high vitamin A content supports the cells that build bone tissue and helps regulate bone remodeling. The fiber in sweet potatoes feeds those beneficial gut bacteria that enhance mineral absorption. I love sweet potatoes baked until caramelized, then topped with a little cinnamon. They're also delicious mashed with a touch of orange zest, roasted in chunks with other root vegetables, or even incorporated into smoothies for natural sweetness and a creamy texture. Number 8. Nuts and seeds. These nutritional powerhouses are compact packages of bone-building minerals. Almonds are particularly rich in calcium, with about 80 milligrams in a 1-ounce serving. Walnuts provide bone-healthy omega-3 fatty acids. Pumpkin seeds are loaded with magnesium, zinc, and protein, all critical for bone formation. Seeds like chia, flax, and sesame deserve special mention for their high calcium content. 2 tablespoons of chia seeds contain about 180 milligrams of calcium, more than half the amount in a glass of milk. They're also excellent sources of alpha-linolenic acid, an omega-3 fatty acid with anti-inflammatory properties that benefit bone health. I keep a mix of nuts and seeds in a jar on my counter for easy snacking. I sprinkle them on oatmeal, yogurt, and salads, blend them into smoothies, and use them to add crunch to vegetable dishes. If chewing nuts is difficult, nut butters provide many of the same benefits in an easier-to-eat form. Number 7. Beans and legumes. These plant-based protein sources are calcium and magnesium powerhouses. A cup of cooked white beans provides about 160 milligrams of calcium, while the same amount of chickpeas offers about 80 milligrams. That might not sound like much compared to dairy, but beans have an advantage. They're alkaline forming in the body, which helps preserve bone mineral density. Beans are also rich in folate, a B vitamin that helps lower levels of homocysteine, an amino acid that can weaken bone when present in high amounts. Their high fiber content supports gut health, enhancing mineral absorption, and their protein provides building blocks for bone tissue. I try to include beans in at least 5 meals each week. They're versatile enough to work in soups, salads, dips, and even desserts. If digestive discomfort is an issue, start with small portions, rinse canned beans thoroughly, and try easier-to-digest varieties like lentils and split peas. Number 6. Leafy greens beyond spinach. While spinach gets a lot of attention, other leafy greens deserve recognition for their bone-building powers. Kale, collard greens, bok choy, and mustard greens all provide calcium in a highly absorbable form, along with vitamin K, which helps calcium actually incorporate into bone. Collard greens are the calcium champion, with about 270 milligrams per cooked cup, more than a quarter of what most adults need daily. Kale provides a more moderate 180 milligrams per cooked cup, but compensates with higher levels of vitamin K. Bok choy offers less calcium, but is one of the most bioavailable plant sources, meaning your body can use a higher percentage of it. I know not everyone loves the taste of greens, but they can be prepared in ways that make them more appealing. Try sautéing them with garlic and olive oil, blending them into soups and sauces, or massaging raw kale with lemon juice and a little salt to tenderize it for salads. Even adding small amounts to meals you already enjoy can make a difference for your bone health. Number 5. Fortified plant milks. For those who don't consume dairy, fortified plant milks can be excellent sources of bone-building nutrients. Most are enriched with calcium and vitamin D at levels comparable to cow's milk, with many providing 300 to 400 milligrams of calcium per cup. Not all plant milks are created equal, though. Almond milk naturally contains some calcium, while soy milk offers protein that supports bone health. Oat milk typically has less protein, but may provide beta-glucans that support immune function and potentially bone health. Always check labels to ensure your chosen plant milk is actually fortified with calcium and vitamin D. I keep both dairy milk and fortified plant milk in my refrigerator for different uses. Plant milks work beautifully in smoothies, overnight oats, and baking recipes. If you're exclusively using plant milk, be sure to get protein from other sources, as most plant milks except soy, are relatively low in this bone-essential nutrient. Number 4. Eggs. These protein powerhouses support bone health in multiple ways. The yolks contain vitamin D, which is rare in food sources and essential for calcium absorption. Eggs also provide sulfur-containing amino acids that are needed to form collagen, the protein matrix upon which bone mineralizes. The protein in eggs is considered a complete protein, meaning it contains all the essential amino acids your body needs but cannot produce itself. This makes eggs particularly effective at supporting muscle maintenance, which is closely linked to bone health. Stronger muscles create the tension that signals bones to maintain or increase their strength. I enjoy eggs in all the traditional ways: scrambled for breakfast, hard-boiled in salads, or as a protein boost in grain bowls. But don't overlook their versatility in less obvious applications. They can thicken smoothies, bind together veggie patties, or create a silky carbonara sauce that coats calcium-rich vegetables like broccoli. Number 3. Fermented foods. Sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, and other fermented foods are gaining recognition for their role in bone health. These foods are rich in probiotics that support a healthy gut microbiome, which in turn enhances the absorption of bone-building minerals from your diet. Certain fermented foods also provide direct bone benefits. Traditional kimchi contains calcium from the small fish or shrimp paste used in its preparation. Kefir, a fermented milk drink, provides all the calcium of milk plus beneficial bacteria. Even kombucha can support bone health through its organic acids that enhance mineral absorption. I try to include at least one fermented food daily. A spoonful of sauerkraut alongside eggs at breakfast, kimchi added to a lunchtime grain bowl, or a small glass of kefir as an afternoon snack are all easy ways to incorporate these bone-building foods into your routine. Number 2. Cheese. This dairy delight is a calcium powerhouse, with harder-aged varieties leading the pack. Just 1 ounce of Parmesan contains about 330 milligrams of calcium, nearly a third of what most adults need daily. Cheddar, Swiss, and mozzarella aren't far behind, offering between 200 to 300 milligrams per ounce. Cheese also provides protein, phosphorus, and some vitamin A, all important for bone formation and maintenance. The combination of calcium and protein is particularly effective for bone health, as protein provides the structural framework upon which calcium and other minerals are deposited. While cheese is nutrient-dense, it's also calorie-dense, so moderation is key. I use cheese as a flavor enhancer rather than the main event. A sprinkle of sharp cheddar on roasted vegetables, crumbled feta in a bean salad, or a thin slice of Swiss on a turkey sandwich. This approach provides bone benefits without excessive calories or saturated fat. Number 1. Plain Greek yogurt. At the top of our list is plain Greek yogurt, which deserves its crown for several reasons. First, it's an exceptional source of calcium, with about 250 milligrams per cup. It also provides twice the protein of regular yogurt, about 23 grams per cup, supporting both bone and muscle strength. Greek yogurt's probiotics enhance calcium absorption by supporting gut health, and its potassium content helps reduce calcium loss through urine. It's also versatile enough to enjoy multiple times daily without boredom setting in. I recommend choosing plain, unsweetened varieties and adding your own flavorings. Berries, chopped prunes, remember number 15, and a sprinkle of nuts or seeds create a bone-building breakfast parfait. Greek yogurt also makes an excellent substitute for sour cream in savory dishes, or can be transformed into a vegetable dip with herbs and a touch of olive oil. Now that we've explored these 15 bone-strengthening foods, let me share some practical advice for incorporating them into your daily routine. First, aim for variety rather than perfection. Each food on our list offers a unique combination of bone-healthy nutrients, so rotating through many of them provides broader support than focusing exclusively on 1 or 2 superfoods. Second, consider the power of food synergies. Certain nutrients work better together. Vitamin D helps calcium absorption. Vitamin K helps direct calcium to your bones, and magnesium activates vitamin D. That's why eating a diverse diet is more effective than relying solely on supplements. Third, consistency matters more than occasional indulgence. Your bones respond to the regular supply of nutrients over time, not to sporadic superfood meals. Even modest daily improvements in your diet can yield significant benefits for bone health over months and years. Fourth, remember that bone health isn't just about adding calcium. It's also about reducing calcium loss. Limiting sodium, caffeine, and alcohol can help your body retain the calcium you work so hard to consume. Moderating animal protein, while still getting enough total protein, can also reduce calcium excretion. Finally, food alone isn't the complete answer. Regular weight-bearing exercise, maintaining adequate vitamin D levels, which may require supplements, especially in northern climates, and addressing medical conditions that affect bone health are all essential parts of a comprehensive bone protection strategy. I hope this exploration of bone-building foods has given you practical tools to support your skeletal health. Remember, it's never too late to start strengthening your bones. The choices you make today, adding a serving of yogurt, incorporating more leafy greens, or enjoying salmon twice weekly, can help preserve your mobility, independence, and quality of life for years to come. If you found this information valuable, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to our Golden Age Secrets channel. Your support helps us continue creating content that empowers older adults to live their healthiest, most vibrant lives. Until next time, this is James, wishing you strong bones and joyful living in your golden years.